So two of the many topics we're going to be discussing here on Side Flick is one, my thoughts on the Barbie movie, and another Spider-Man villain solo film. So our Cringetro must combine the two. Enjoy. Hello, my movie peeps. Thank you so much for clicking on an episode of Side Flick. My name is Chris. Let's dive into the movie news we've got to discuss here today. Some of the stuff we're going to be discussing here, guys, is, Sony is at it again and bringing the most obscure villain into the spotlight, giving them a solo movie. We got tons more DC drama to talk about here, even one concerning Gal Gadot's fate as Wonder Woman, because it looks like she's gone too. That along with so much more, so I'm gonna need you guys to give me your opinions down below with everything we discuss here today. And just as a shameless plug, guys, don't be forgetting to check out the video I did where they announced the cast for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie with Matthew Lillard and Josh Hutcherson. I'll link that down below, and I think later today I'll be posting my spoiler review for Avatar 2: The Way of Water, because believe it or not, I have not been able to stop thinking of where the movies could go, and I want to share my thoughts. So check those videos out and be on the lookout. But for right now, let's go ahead into some trailer trash talking about the upcoming Barbie movie, where we got to make a little change in our life, guys. Men, please sit down, calm down. It is time for us to discuss the Barbie movie. That's right, ladies, we stealing this one from you. I'm sorry, I do not make the rules. All joking aside, I never thought I would actually be this excited and pumped for a live-action Barbie movie, yet here I am in full suit and tie. I'll buy a pink one if I have to. 10,000 likes and I'll do it for the review. Alright, so one thing that a lot of movie fans might have noticed from the beginning of this trailer is that it's paying homage to 2001: A Space Odyssey. I think this is actually a really clever way to go about it, because the Barbie doll was a revolutionary product that changed a bunch of little girls' lives, and probably little boys too, okay? I never owned a Barbie doll, yet I have specific memories of holding a Barbie doll, playing with a Barbie doll, looking under its skirt, and feeling naughty. I was a kid, leave me alone. And even just looking at these specific shots, they making me laugh. These are not Margot Robbie's real feet. Look at those tiny little toes. For free?
Perfect.
That means to me the prop department made a 10-foot tall Barbie doll legs. Name your price, Warner Brothers. I will buy it. Now, fun fact, this is actually the original swimsuit that Barbie first wore that came out in 1959. So, I mean, if you're actually a diehard Barbie fan and know a lot about the product and its history, you might be seeing a lot of cool Easter eggs throughout this movie. From there, the trailer just gives us some really quick shots of the world we're about to witness here. And just starting off here with this one, this looks to me like if I walked into the Walmart Barbie aisle and it just came to life. I've seen some people point out, oh, it's just a bunch of green screens and CGI. I don't know, man. This feels like they actually built a miniature city and got away with it or something. I feel like this looks really good. To me, I'm a little bit more curious about how this world plays out in contrast to ours. Because from my understanding of the movie is that we are going to be set in sort of this Barbie world where there's Barbies everywhere, just named Barbie. Same as the Ken dolls here, with Ryan Gosling getting a look at him, and the other Ken dolls, they're all supposed to be named Ken. And as a quick side note, to me this looks like what a Fortnite live action movie would look like, is it not? Same colors, weird costume, people holding pickaxes. Whoever owns Fortnite, this is what you need your live action movie to look like. But at some point in the movie, Margot Robbie's Barbie and Ryan Gosling's Ken escape this sort of Barbie world and come to our real world. And then from there, the CEO of Mattel, that is played by Will Ferrell, is going to try and hunt them down to bring them back to Barbie land. And man, you don't even want to know what's going to happen to Barbie as soon as she hits the real world. Pure cinema. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the latest Barbie trailer, if you're excited to see this, and if you're going to be going day one in a suit and tie. because that's what we doing, y'all. Moving on from there, let's talk about one positive thing that is happening in Henry Cavill's life, because I am still feeling so bad for the man just getting Superman taken away from him. It got reported by The Hollywood Reporter that Henry Cavill might have found his next big project, where it says here, Henry Cavill's next play, Warhammer 40,000 series for Amazon. A basic summary of the game is the game setting is 40,000 years into the future, where things are dark indeed. Human civilization has stopped progressing and is is in an unending war with aliens and magical beings, with gods and demons figuring into a theological class system. Essentially, everybody's been trying to find their own version of Game of Thrones because that was like the biggest series ever, and now this is going to be Amazon's play at something like that with Henry Cavill. He commented on this show saying, "I have loved Warhammer since I was a boy, making this moment truly special for me. The opportunity to shepherd this cinematic universe from its inception is quite the honor and the responsibility." To me, I'm just kind of glad Henry Cavill found something that he's passionate, excited about, because come on, man, they took Superman away from him. Any Warhammer fans out there excited for this series, or are you just happy Henry Cavill has some sort of a happy ending? Moving on from there, we gotta talk about Sony Pictures, because they are continuing to bust out the most random Spider-Man villains and decide, yeah, these boys need a solo movie. The Hollywood Reporter came out and let us know Donald Glover to star in, produce Spider-Man movie based on villain Hypno Hustler. Now, I consider myself one of the biggest Spider-Man fans in the world, and even I had no idea someone like El Muerto or Hypno Hustler existed, and that's because they usually rank in the worst list of Spider-Man villains. The article here gives us a brief explanation of who the character is. Hypno Hustler was very much a product of the disco music scene when he first appeared in Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man, number 24 in 1978. His real name is Antoine Dielson, the leader of a band called the Mercy Killers, and use hypnosis technology in his instruments on audiences in order to rob them. This really is what Sony is wanting to do, and like, look, I'm even going to be optimistic about this, as ridiculous as this sounds to me. One, I really like Donald Glover. I think he is a multi-talented man. I enjoyed his stand-up, I enjoy his acting in Atlanta, and I think he's actually a great musician, because a lot of his songs end up on my playlist. And in the article, they specifically say here that sources say Glover's spark to the musical aspect of the character, and the fact he has less Marvel canon baggage, freeing him to a greater interpretation. Meaning Donald Glover didn't just look at this character and think, well, he's one of the most laughable Spider-Man villains. No, he's a villain that uses music, hypnosis. I could do something with that, and you know what? If anyone can do it, Donald Glover can. Like I said, acting and music talent, you actually put that in to a character, there could be something fun there. I'll be honest and say I'm probably more excited for this than El Muerto. To me, the part that just gets to me and makes me go like, seriously, it's just Sony trying to force these characters to work within their messed up universe with Venom, Morbius, Kraven the Hunter, and all these other characters they got lined up. It just really comes off like leeching off the back of the only IP they really own, Spider-Man, and trying to suck every last bit out of him. Because you know when this trailer comes out or the movie's being marketed, they're going to throw in little Spider-Man Easter eggs. They're going to throw a little poster in the background, or they're going to mention him in the film once or twice, and that's just going to compel Spider-Man fans like me to be there day one, because anything Spider-Man related, I'm just going to shill for it. So yes, I understand the irony, okay? As my girl Taylor Swift said, "It's me. And I haven't even discussed what does this mean for his character as the Prowler in Tom Holland's Spider-Man MCU verse. I gotta think they have plans to introduce Miles Morales, and the Prowler plays a big part in Miles' life. Is he not gonna show up there anymore? I still really hope so, but honestly, him getting this role makes me think he ain't coming back to the MCU. But this is where I throw it off to you Spider-Man fans. What do you think about this random obscure villain in Spider-Man's lineup getting a solo movie? Bringing us now to finally talk about some of the DC drama going on, because it is just non-stop, and I'm telling you, I am eating it up every day. So I made a playlist on my channel if you want to catch up with some of the news that's been happening, or things that James Gunn has been letting us know on his Twitter that is affecting his new DCU timeline. I'll link that down below. But the thing we're mainly going to be discussing here today is the Hollywood Reporter came out with an article titled "Behind the Fall of Henry Cavill's Superman," with a really interesting Photoshop photo of Superman James Gunn. And one of the interesting things they mentioned in this article when going through Henry Cavill's departure is Cavill also shot a cameo in The Flash, one of the 4 DC movies set to release in 2023, but sources say that cameo, along with Gal Gadot's as Wonder Woman, is now being cut, given that the studio chose to not go forward with director Patty Jenkins' version of Wonder Woman 3. And half of that isn't news to us. Before it finally became official that Henry Cavill was no longer going to be Superman, we had heard that they removed his cameo from the upcoming Flash movie because they didn't want to promise a future with him when they knew they were going to reboot the the character. And now we're getting those same reports here for Wonder Woman, but it's a little different here. Other sources have come out and said Wonder Woman actually has like 2 big scenes in the Flash movie. She has one early on in the film when the Flash and Ben Affleck's Batman are going through an action scene. She pops in there and helps them out. That scene is actually still going to remain in the movie, but the scene that they are removing is one at the end of the film that teases more with her and Henry Cavill's Superman. Those 2 cameos have now been removed, and that to me again lets me know, just like with Henry Cavill's Superman, they don't have plans for Gal Gadot anymore. They don't want her in the universe, and that sucks. You pair that up with James Gunn confirming that Batman is going to play a big part in his DCU, not the Batman with Robert Pattinson, a Batman that we don't know who it will be yet. It seems very likely then the main trio, or just the essential Justice League members, will all be recasted for the new DC timeline. And again, as painful as that is to some people and as upset as it's making some fans, I feel it is the smarter way to do things. And I guess even jumping off that point to a lot of the toxicity going on, one of the reasons so many people are pissed is because it wasn't even a month ago that we got that Henry Cavill post-credit scene in Black Adam. And then this article, they kind of imply fault to Dwayne Johnson for giving false hope to the fans, since he was someone that was just pressuring the studio to get Henry Cavill in there as Superman to promote his movie. They go as far as to say this in the article: in the end, he was a pawn in Dwayne's failed attempt to control a piece of DC. That's one thing not a lot of people are talking about here. I'm not trying to spew hate one way or another, because I'm still a big Dwayne Johnson fan. I'm excited to see what he's got going on in the future. But we gotta admit, the way he was trying to strong arm the studio, take over, think that he was the Kevin Feige for Warner Brothers' DC, it backfired on him. And now that Henry Cavill is officially gone, and we know for a fact he was trying to build up to a Black Adam vs Superman movie that is now no longer happening, he has gone dead silent about talking about Black Adam. People notice that Black Adam came out on HBO Max, and Dwayne Johnson, for the past couple months, has just been non-stop promoting Black Adam every chance he gets, and his movie coming to streaming is something he would have tweeted 10 times about in one day, and he just completely ignored it. Some people were even trying to really dig up the tea and say that Dwayne Johnson unfollowed the Black Adam movie and Warner Brothers on Instagram. Like, that is how petty some people are trying to get. He later came up and said he was never following them in the first place, but still has yet to actually comment about the change on Henry Cavill and his future as Black Adam. And you know something else that kind of rubbed me the wrong way? An article came out saying that he was offered a cameo in Shazam 2: Fury of the Gods, and he refused it. And I feel like that's just kind of effed up when he was like, Henry Cavill can cameo in my movie. Superman, one of the greatest superheroes to ever live, can show up in my film. I'm not going to show up in someone else's film. Like, I get it, Dwayne, you're a big movie star and you've earned it, but it's also, you're the villain to that character. You're the Joker of Shazam, the Lex Luthor, the Green Goblin, whatever. Fans would love to see a cameo of you in Shazam. I don't know, man. Really crazy stuff. The drama doesn't stop there. Maybe some of you guys disagree with some of my points. Would love to hear them down below, along with your thoughts on all this other DC drama. But that is everything going on right now in the movie space. I want to thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to watch me talk some movie news. Don't be forgetting to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.